In my improvisation on the outro of that previous lesson, you saw me play some trills, right? So I want to talk about these. Now the trill is just a hammer-on pull-off between two tones. Make sure that whatever you play, you're either in the groove or you're consciously fighting the groove. Pay total attention and have absolute control over what you're doing rhythmically. So if I choose to trill a couple of notes, and let's just take, in this lesson, we're talking about the root and the flatted third. So if I go 1 and 2 and 3, and those are 8th notes, then 16th. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 triplet. Those are 8th note triplets. And you see I have all like, and you want even rhythms. You probably, we're talking about a repetitious figure where each note gets the same time value. So if it's 8th notes, it's 1 and 2 and. If it's 8th note triplets, it's 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 16th, 1 and a 2 and a 3. Or remember, they can be low, high, low, high, low, high, or high, low, high, low, high, low in the case of your even numbered groups. Let me explain that. If I'm playing a trill and I'm doing 8th notes, here's my groove. 1, 2, 3, 4, low, high. So the low note is on the beat. 1 and 2 and 3, and or reverse it, the high note's on the beat. 1 and 2 and 3. So make sure you practice them both ways. So that would apply to any duple figure, meaning divisible by 2. Your 8th notes, your 16ths, and your 32nds. All right, the triplets, they're going to turn around, but where you start them, you might start them 1, or they're going to sound different because you're starting on a different note on that beat. So I practice playing these kind of things against the group. I mean, I don't practice them anymore because I know I'm going to just hear them, but you should practice this so you have an inventory of 8th notes, and also it could be a dotted 8th with 16th. I know that contradicts what I just told you a minute ago. It's not really a trill, so that's more of just a figure. But when you get these going faster, my point being, I'm playing 32nd notes. Now, how do I play them that fast? There's a little trick that I'm doing. Up to a certain point, you're just, I mean, if you just start doing this, if you hold the root and the flatted third, and you just start trilling them, make sure they're even. And I have students, or have had them, and I still have one, he's been with me a long time, and he has a hard time opening his hand up. He's getting real limber, and maybe his hands aren't big, but staying behind the frets. And when we go down low, he'll creep up. What's going to happen to that note? It's going to be muted. So make sure you're staying behind the frets. Make sure you rotate your hand, because we're not doing the 4th finger. We're playing just traditional blues stuff. Wouldn't be hard of it. But anyway. Right? So if you're playing these 32nd notes, they're going to be, you're going to play 8 notes to every beat. What you do is you target that ring finger. Just smack my guitar. Anyway, you see how I'm singing them? So I hear them, so my ring finger is going to be the target, because that hammer-on is actually pretty powerful. I'm slamming it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As you speed up, there's going to be this break point, this threshold where it seems like you can't go any faster. That's when you do this little trick. Now, I don't know if it's going to show up. Let me look up the monitor. Yeah, watch my hand. Here I am playing up to a certain speed. Now watch my forearm. You see how I sort of tense up and I start throwing my hand into it back and forth. You're going to have to find this on your own. This is something that you just develop. But that would enable you to play a 32nd note trill against this groove at this tempo, because you know, if the groove was much faster, you still wouldn't be able to pull them off. You can start doing the two-handed thing, but you know, we're not into that today. All right, so anyway, here we are. We're talking about this trill, and it could be between any 2 adjacent tones in the scale. You know, it can be a bigger one, but because we're doing this traditional rock style with the ring and the index finger, you're going to stay with these 5 notes in this minor pentatonic scale. So we have covered all 5 notes now in the minor pentatonic scale. Flat 7, 1, flat 3, 4, 5, and flat 7. And we had connectors and the natural 7, the natural third, and that flat 5. I left out the 6, I left out the 2. We're going to talk about that when we do the Dorian mode. So here are some great practice schemes for getting this string bending to where it's a little more expressive. See how it sounds like? You can do the scooping with the trim bar. So you're emulating what you would do with the trim bar with your fretting hand, with these bends. So practice just playing against the track, and I'm going to play against the track right now and just play up and down on the 3rd string using all these things that I've talked about. Okay, now I'm going to show you a trick move. Let's say I'm applying this particular move, right? Where I play a note, pull off to the next lowest note, and then bend. So I'm bending with my index finger, right? But what if I wanted to do it down low? It's a little impractical doing that minor 3rd bend with the index finger. It'd be great if I was on my ring finger. But how am I going to do that? I don't want to go, I don't want that sound. I want, watch this. I'm going to give you an exercise. Play this C with your index finger. Now watch. Did I disturb the sustain of that note? I'm changing fingers very carefully. I don't want to go. I don't want to hammer on. I don't want this noise. And this would be impractical up in the higher frets because you don't have room for this exchange of fingers. But here's where you could apply this. You see? It's you don't run out of fingers. You can work your way down. So, trick little move there. I don't know if I've seen that out there anywhere. I don't think I have, but it's kind of clever. Have some fun with it.